hour on VTV News. Vietnam's economy experiences robust growth in the first quarter. Young Vietnamese fishermen signal new wave of progress in fishing industry. In our world news, Hun Sen bids farewell to Cambodia National Assembly.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Hello, it's 3 p.m. local time in Hanoi. You're watching VTV News. On Wednesday morning, Prime Minister Phie presided over an online conference between the government and various localities, as well as the regular government meeting in March. Attendees at the conference concurred that the socio-economic situations in March continue the positive recovery trend. The results outperformed those of January and February, and the overall first quarter yielded better results than the same period last year.
In the first quarter, GDP growth hit a four-year high at 5.66%. The Consumer Price Index in March fell by 0.23% compared to February, with an average increase of 3.77% in the first quarter. Import-export turnover in March reached $65 billion, a nearly 36% increase from the previous month and a 12% rise year-on-year. The trade surplus in the first 3 months exceeded $8 billion. In the first quarter, FDI attraction reached $6.17 billion, a 13.4% increase from last year. Realized FDI capital reached $4.63 billion, a rise of 7.1%, marking the highest increase in the past 5 years. On behalf of the government, Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh commended the efforts and results achieved by ministries, branches, and localities. Looking ahead, the Prime Minister is calling for the best and most effective implementation, striving to meet and surpass the goals and targets set for 2024, especially the growth target of 6.5%. These include a determination to enhance the business investment environment, support production and operations for enterprises, resolve challenges, boost decentralization, streamline administrative procedures, and lower compliance costs for individuals and businesses. Other goals include ensuring macroeconomic stability in major economic balances, controlling inflation to stimulate growth, and promoting healthy, open, and transparent development across all market types, including the emergence of new markets.
Vietnam's economy is off to a positive start in 2024, according to international financial organizations and institutions in their Global and Regional Economic Update report. Notably, import and export activities improved in the first quarter. Goods export increased by 17% over the same period, while import rose by almost 14%, resulting in a trade surplus of nearly $8.1 billion. Registered foreign direct investment (FDI) inflows into Vietnam reached $6.2 billion, a 13.4% increase over the same period last year. The amount of disbursed capital reached a 4-year high for the same period, with $4.6 billion in the first quarter. These reports highlight the proactive and flexible implementation of Vietnamese government's monetary and fiscal policies. Prime Minister Pham Minh recently signed official telegram number 29 concerning the completions of investment procedure for medium-term public investment project for the period 2021-2025. He instructed ministries, central agencies, and localities to urgently complete investment procedures, ensure the conditions for arranging annual capital plans as per regulations, and propose an additional capital plan for 2024. This proposal should be sent to the Ministry of Planning and Investment before April 10th. For projects expected to use increased central budget revenue in 2022 but lacking approved investment policies, the relevant ministries and localities are to urgently complete investment procedures for projects approved by the Prime Minister. The Ministry of Planning and Investment is to oversee and coordinate with relevant agencies to review, synthesize, and report to the Prime Minister and the government before April 20th. This will be submitted to competent authorities for consideration and allocation authorization. Starting in April, gas stations are mandated to issue electronic invoices after each sale. Failure to adhere to this regulation will result in closure. The issuance of electronic invoices after each gasoline sale promotes transaction transparency. The tax industry will also gain better controls over invoice issuance, thereby preventing fraud and curbing gasoline smuggling. Let's examine the implementations of this new rule in Ho Chi Minh City.
At the gas station on Soviet Nghệ Tĩnh Road in Bình Thạnh district, many customers requested invoices for their purchases. Most of them were in favor of implementing electronic invoices following each sale.
It is convenient and easy to pay. The company will not require drivers to perform difficult tasks such as searching for invoices.
Issuing this electronic invoice is very convenient. The company will know how many liters of gas to fill and how much to pay according to the invoices.
According to petrol businesses, only a handful of car-driving customers request invoices. Most motorbike riders who purchase petrol in small quantities declare them. Regardless, petrol businesses issue invoices whether customers request them or not. Petrol pumps are connected to e-gas system, which displays the payment amount, quantity of petrol sold, and time of sale. All this data is then transferred to the central system.
Previously, when they sold 100 liters of gasoline, they would claim to have sold only 10 liters to lower the tax. Now, we see that the more they sell, the more invoices they must issue. This prevents false declarations or understatements.
Issuing electronic invoices for each sale not only saves customers time, but also ensures that businesses comply with regulations. These invoices are stored electronically and can be retrieved when requested by competent authorities.
Localities have consistently focused on securing sustainable livelihoods for communities residing in buffer zones near forests. When these communities thrive, they can contribute more effectively to forest conservation. Yên Trị Commune, one of the 14 communes in Cúc Phương National Park buffer zone, has implemented a tourism model to address this concern. More to follow.
Yên Trị Commune creates new livelihoods for locals through the development of tourism, which includes accommodation and experiences. In addition to improving community infrastructure towards a greener and cleaner environment, many households have invested in homestays for guests.
Around 8 kilometers of Cúc Phương National Park belong to the commune, and we have built roads. We have also planted indigenous trees to ensure biodiversity and beautify the scenery. We then introduced various jobs to the locals, aiming to build a multi-layered economy from the forest.
Yên Trị Commune is known for its many valuable medicinal plants and remedies. The community has allocated a 30-hectare area for the cultivation of medicinal plants. Presently, there are 2 cooperatives in the area that process these medicinal herbs into products for tourists.
We are focused on plants with high economic value and demand in the locality.
Dozens of communes are located in the buffer zone of 6 national parks. Thus, ecotourism projects, including developing tours that connect the parks with culturally rich villages, have been proposed. These projects will serve as a foundation for improving the livelihoods of the local people.
The project will be carried out in each region. It will focus on improving the livelihoods of the locals so that the people will be part of the forest protection force while reaping benefits from the forest ecotourism services.
In fact, even when life is challenging, people often rely on the forest for their livelihood. As such, developing tourism in villages near forests will open new opportunities. This can increase the awareness of forest protection among those who directly benefit from it.
In central coastal regions, most fishermen are middle-aged or older. However, many young people have recently joined the fishing industries and taken over the jobs of their seniors. Younger generations, being more proficient in computers and technologies, are able to operate a variety of machinery and equipment efficiently. This not only enhances safety at sea, but also improves traceability for small-scale fishing fleets. More to follow.
22-year-old fisherman Wiman Ho has spent over 3 years participating in fishing trips in Cheongsao waters. Now he has been appointed as the captain of the fishing vessel and is responsible for all aspects of a fishing trip. As a young man, he can quickly acquire technology skills, thus becoming proficient in using equipment such as GPS devices, monitoring tools, and walkie-talkies.
As a young fisherman, I can understand and comply with IUU regulations more easily. I should follow the government's law on fisheries to stay safe during my first solo fishing trip.
In many coastal provinces, the older generation of fishermen is being gradually replaced by a younger workforce. For example, in Phie province, captains under 35 make up about 5% of the total number of captains in the fishing fleet, while young fishermen constitutes 70% of the total workforce. As Vietnam's fishing industry aims to modernize, fishermen are increasingly required to use modern technology to enhance their operations at sea.
I've been working as a captain for 4 years. I'm young and tech-savvy, so I know how to use an electronic logbook. My fishing activities must comply with the government's regulations.
Young fishermen are fast learners, so they are better at technology skills. Therefore, they can work closely with marine police and border guards.
Regulations on legal fishing are key requirements, not only for the European market, but also for other significant markets. Young fishermen, armed with determination and technological proficiency, are expected to apply the knowledge gained from their seniors to contribute to the development of Vietnam's fishing industry.
And before moving on to some other news, let's take a look at foreign exchange rate for today, April 3rd. Coming up next on VTV News, coal mine fire kills 4 and injures 7 in Quảng Ninh. Mai promotes tourism while safeguarding traditional culture. A severe mine accident had just occurred in Quảng Ninh. On Wednesday morning, an incident happened at Mining Station 2 of Thống Nhất Coal Company during production, resulting in the death of 4 workers. The excavation site where the incident occurred spanned 23 square meters. The initial cause of the incident is determined to be a methane gas fire. In addition to the 4 casualties, 7 other injured workers are currently receiving treatment at Quảng Ninh Provincial General Hospital. Upon receiving the news, leaders of Quảng Ninh Province and the Vietnam Coal and Mineral Industry Group rushed to the scene to oversee the rescue effort. By 3 a.m., all victims had been evacuated from the site, concluding the search and rescue operation. The authorities and Thống Nhất Coal Company are now coordinating to support the victims' families. The cause of the incident is under further investigation. After nearly a month of actively searching over an area of more than 5,000 square meters, at 9 a.m. on April 1, 2024, remains of a number of Vietnam People's Army marchers who died in fierce battles with Australian Army forces participating in the war in Vietnam in June 1968 have been found. The searching for remains of fallen soldiers has been persistently carried out by the military command of Bình Dương Province for the past 20 years. The information contribution from the Australian veterans play a crucial part in the initial success of the searching collaboration efforts.
In the battle at Bắc Tân Uyên, Bình Dương province from May to June 1968, 130 officers and soldiers of the People's Army of Vietnam heroically sacrificed their lives. These are their remains.
Based on the information of the coordinates provided by the veterans, after nearly a month of searching, we discovered many remains and relics of the martyrs who sacrificed their lives here during the resistance war against the U.S.
Here, 56 years ago, the bodies of Vietnam People's Army martyrs were buried by the Australian Army in mass graves. Over the past 20 years, efforts to collect the remains of martyrs were stagnant due to difficulties in determining the location of the burial pits in the vast rubber forests. This success comes from important information from a number of Australian veterans and their relatives.
It's simply a good thing to do for families that know that their sons or brothers, uncles, fathers were killed here. So I'm hoping that this dig site here will produce all those soldiers.
It's hard for me to put into words, but all I can say is that the feelings that I have are very strong. They're very strong feelings. To be able to contribute just a small part back to that.
The search team has collected the remains of about 12 martyrs and has also gathered a number of documents that can help determine their identities. Efforts are still carried out to determine the location where more than 40 martyrs still lie underground.
Currently, the water supply to the Mekong Delta is lower than the annual average, with prolonged hot weathers exacerbating water shortages. Despite being in April, warnings of severe saltwater intrusion persist. The total water flow to the Mekong Delta in April is predicted to be 10 to 20% less than the usual amount for this period. Although the situation may not peak as in March, saltwater intrusion remained considerable, especially during high tides from April 8 to 13 and from April 22nd to 28. In the Vam Co River system, the salinity line to 4 grams per liter, which affect rice crops until April 10th, can reach depth of 75 to 90 kilometers. Meanwhile, the Cửa Tiểu, Cửa Đại, Hàm Luông, Cổ Chiên, and Hậu rivers exhibit salinity across approximately 40 to 65 kilometers. This summer, Hanoi is forecast to experience an unusual early heat wave, with the city preparing for high temperatures. In past year, April in Hanoi was typically cooler, with average temperature between 21 to 28 degrees Celsius. However, this year, the timing of heat wave is shifting, raising concerns about prolonged and intense summer. More to follow.
On Tuesday afternoon, temperatures in Hanoi soar above 35 degrees Celsius. Many people suffer from heat-related symptoms such as fatigue, dizziness, and headaches.
I'm getting hot and feel dizzy. Perhaps these are the symptoms of heat stroke. I'm sitting in the shade to avoid the sun.
Hot weather gives me a headache.
People refrain from going outside or working out during the hottest times of the day. They sought ways to stay safe during the heat wave. The scorching temperatures also raise concern for the elderly, who face increased health risk in the heat.
The weather is changing more frequently and dramatically. It was cold last week, but today, it's too hot. I feel dizzy.
This year, the hot weather arrived 1 month earlier than in previous years. Traditionally, the summer season starts in May, but this year's weather is unusual. According to experts, this marks the third time since 1991 that Hanoi has experienced such an early heat wave.
El Niño has a substantial impact on weather patterns, leading to a global temperature increase. Therefore, heat waves occur earlier in northern Vietnam. May, June, and July are forecast to be the hottest months of the year in Vietnam's northern region.
Heat waves rank among the most hazardous natural phenomena. They pose a significant health risk to city residents, leading to widespread discomfort, sunstroke, and fatigue. Owing to the urban heat island effect, Hanoi is predicted to endure hotter temperatures compared to its surrounding areas.
In the first quarter of this year, South Korea tops the list of tourists to Vietnam with 1.2 million visitors. This is 1.5 times more than the same period last year. South Korean visitors alone represented over a quarter of all international visitors during this period. Agoda's booking data reveals that Da Nang, Nha Trang, Hoi An, and Phu Quoc are the most popular destinations among Korean tourists. This indicates a clear interest from Korean tourists in Vietnam coastal cities and resort islands. The ethnic diversity in Mai Châu District, Hòa Bình Province has fostered a culturally rich region with a distinct identity. This diversity is invaluable access in the development of local tourism. In recent years, the district has leveraged its natural landscapes and traditional cultural values to attract tourists, both domestically and internationally. The aim is to establish tourism as a key economic sector.
New crops are being cultivated in the fields of Nha Phon Commune, Mai Châu District. The pleasant tapping sound of Keng Long surround the houses. Long refers to a trout used for pounding rice, while Keng Long signifies the pestle tapping on both sides of the trout. Since the end of 2023, the Thai people's Keng Long dance in Mai Châu has been recognized as a national intangible cultural heritage.
On occasions such as the New Year holiday and other festive occasions, women still perform Keng Long. In the past, women only worked on weekends. However, now that tourism has surged, women work more frequently.
So it's very relaxing and calm here. So we love the idea, and we love that it's not a city, it's like small villages. You can go from one village to the other. So it's like, for the moment, we love it.
Nha Phon Commune has implemented various strategies to increase people's awareness of preserving and promoting the Thai people's cultural heritage. Currently, the commune boasts 19 homestays and 2 resorts. Additionally, the commune has established 22 performance teams dedicated to preserving the ethnic group's traditional songs and dances.
I hope to preserve this Thai song. My club has more than 30 members, including men and women of all ages. It's very effective. People are starting to learn how to sing, so I'm very happy.
The Bone Village Temple in a Cheung Châu commune, cherished by the Thai people, was once at risk of deterioration and oblivion. However, due to the concerted efforts of the party, state and local authorities, the temple has been beautifully restored at its original location.
Now it has become a place for people's religious activities. Every year on January 9th and 10th, a sacrificial festival is held. People's lives have improved significantly, both materially and spiritually, after restoring the nation's fine traditional culture and building new rural areas.
The number of tourists visiting Mai Châu grows annually. In 2023, the location was listed among the 10 friendliest places in Vietnam by the Traveler Review Award. This recognition partly demonstrates the effectiveness of Hòa Bình Province tourism approach.
Coming up next in our World News, Hun Sen bids farewell to Cambodia's National Assembly. And North Korea test fires new solid-fuel hypersonic missile. Samdech Techo Hun Sen, president of the Cambodian People's Party, announced his resignation from the National Assembly on Monday during the opening of the second session of the 7th legislature. His resignation was confirmed by Cambodia National Assembly on Tuesday as he was elected as the president of the Senate for the 5th mandate. Speaking at the opening, the former prime minister noted that he has served the National Assembly for more than half of his life, from June 1981 until now. He joined the National Assembly at the age of 29 and held various positions, including Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation. According to the official schedule, the inaugural sessions of the new Cambodian Senate will take place today, where Hun Sen will be elected as the president of the Senate for the 2024-2030 term. North Korean Central News Agency KCNA announced on Wednesday that North Korea successfully test-fired a new hypersonic missile. The agency extolled the significant military strategic value of this new weapon. According to the state news agencies, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un supervised the launch of the Hwasong 4-16B, a new type intermediate-range solid-fuel ballistic missiles equipped with a hypersonic glide warhead. The KCNA reported that the hypersonic glide warhead reached its first peak at a height of 101.1 kilometers and the second at 72.3 kilometers. North Korea assured that the missile test did not compromise the security of neighboring countries. However, the U.S., Japan, and South Korea expressed opposition to North Korea missile test. A 7.2 magnitude earthquake struck Taiwan, China on Wednesday morning, marking the strongest tremor the island has experienced in at least 25 years. According to Taiwan's China Fire Department, the quake claims the lives of 4 residents, all in Hualien County, which is close to the epicenter. Over 50 people were injured by falling objects. The quake resulted in the collapse of at least 26 buildings, with more than half in Hualien. Approximately 20 people were trapped with rescue operations underway. Thousands of homes lost power, and a significant highway along the east coast were closed due to landslide and rockfalls. The spokesperson for Taiwan's Central Weather Administration warned of powerful aftershocks, potentially reaching magnitude 7, expected to persist until the end of the week. The quake initially prompted tsunami warnings in Taiwan, southern Japan, and the Philippines. However, all tsunami warnings were later lifted. And now, as usual, let's continue with the weather forecast. And that's all the news for today. To rewatch our program, you can log on to VTVgo.vn or download our mobile application VTVgo. Thanks for watching and goodbye for now.